This is United Network News with Sunny Galt, Calen, Kimberly Gogan, and our field messengers from around the world. Here's today's real news.
It's Monday, August 18th, 2025, and here are today's stories. What if companies had to take full responsibility for the waste their products create? Extended producer responsibility is gaining ground, and it could be a game changer for the planet. In Norway, a simple machine is helping recycle more than 90% of drink containers. UNN field messengers Veronica and Emma take us inside the country's impressive deposit return system. Ever tried walking in a U.S. city and felt like you were risking your life? You're not alone. While American streets often ignore pedestrians and cyclists, cities in the Netherlands are showing us a better way to move. One community is turning gardens into a tool for food security, offering free seedlings, gardening workshops, and hope. UNN field messenger Anna shows us what's growing. From baby lotion to plastic toys, our children are constantly exposed to toxic chemicals. And it's not just concerning, it's preventable. So why aren't we doing more? And finally, in Uganda, homemade juice isn't just a treat, it's tradition. Nibiria Annette shares how she brings flavor and freshness to her family, one glass at a time.
Imagine if companies were held responsible for the entire life cycle of the products they create. Sounds pretty fair, right? That's the idea behind Extended Producer Responsibility, or EPR, a policy approach that encourages manufacturers to take charge of their products, even after they've been used. It's like saying, hey, you made it, now help us manage it, but in a way that's great for the planet.
This concept isn't exactly new, though. The European Union has been on this for a while. EPR was first introduced in a 1990 report for the Swedish Ministry of the Environment, but was already in use in countries like Austria, Germany, the Netherlands, Scandinavia, and Switzerland. So how does EPR actually help? These laws make producers register, report packaging data, and pay fees based on the type and amount of packaging they use. Fees are higher for companies using more or less recyclable packaging, encouraging a shift to sustainable materials. Smaller companies are often exempt based on revenue or packaging use. By reducing packaging, businesses can lower both material costs and EPR fees, supporting recycling efforts and a circular economy.
Why do we need extended producer responsibility for packaging? Let me show you. A coworker ordered this package and it came like this. Open it up and it's a bunch of extra filling. Move the filling in. We've got this one tiny little bottle in there, and that's it. Just this bottle in that big box with all that filling. When packaging companies have to pay for that packaging to be recycled, they're less likely to add all this extra fluff and filler that takes up space, pollutes our environment, and is just a waste.
The European Union has already rolled out EPR programs for packaging, batteries, vehicles, and electronics, making strides in reducing waste. Meanwhile, in the UK, things have been moving a bit slower. After delays, the UK's packaging EPR is finally kicking off this October. It's introducing a polluter pays system where large companies will now foot the bill for the packaging they produce. Fees are calculated based on materials and weight, with steep charges ahead for materials that are hard to recycle. Across the Atlantic, 7 U.S. states and 9 Canadian provinces already have EPR laws, with more on the way.
New Yorkers have been recycling for over 30 years. Policy from the late 1980s has made recycling easier and created nearly 35,000 jobs for New Yorkers. This is a good start, but we can do so much better. Right now, New Yorkers' waste consists of 42% of packaging-related products, but we recycle only 20% of all that, and our landfills are filling up fast with materials we can recycle. We need a smarter way to save valuable materials and give them a new life through recycling, instead of just tossing them out. One of the major challenges affecting our recycling system is product packaging. Over the years, Packaging has evolved, but our recycling practices haven't kept pace. With so many types of packaging materials ending up in recycling bins, local governments are burdened with the cost of trying to sort or dispose of these items. Worse, curbside recycling isn't available to everyone in New York, especially for residents living in multifamily buildings or in rural communities. That's where Extended Producer Responsibility, or EPR, comes in. EPR is a common sense solution that makes producers responsible for managing their products after use. Currently, local governments or private contractors handle trash and recycling once we are finished using the product or its packaging. Most often, it's tax dollars that are funding the management of these materials. Under an EPR system, the financial responsibility shifts to producers, who bear the cost of managing the packaging they put into the marketplace. But EPR does more than just shift responsibility. It streamlines recycling infrastructure, creates equal access to curbside services, reimburses local governments for their recycling expenses, creates jobs, and reduces reliance on incineration and landfills.
However, EPR is not without its challenges. For example, New York's 2025 legislative session ended without passing extended producer responsibility for packaging. Despite progress in the Senate, the Assembly ran out of time to vote before the session closed on June 17th. On the other hand, Oregon's new extended producer responsibility law for packaging went into effect on July 1st, making it the first U.S. state to implement such a program. The law, passed in 2021, aims to modernize recycling and reduce plastic pollution. However, it has sparked debates, including a lawsuit filed by the National Association of Wholesaler Distributors challenging its requirements.
EPR might not be perfect, but it's a step toward a more sustainable future, one where companies are held accountable and the planet hopefully gets a little breathing room.
Norway has mastered recycling with its super efficient deposit return system, where over 92% of drink containers are recycled through reverse vending machines. UNN Field Messengers Veronica and Emma show us how it works.
Hi, this is a Field Messenger report for United Network News from Tønsberg in Norway by Veronica and Emma. This report is about Norway's impressive deposit return system for drink containers. Norwegian deposit return system for drink containers like glass or plastic bottles or cans have become a recycling model for the rest of the world. Indeed, as seeing is believing, legislators and stakeholders from around the world regularly visit Norway to see and to study the role model deposit return system in practice. The story of the RVM, reverse vending machine of deposit return system, actually started in Norway. As far back as 1972, the Norwegian brothers, Petter and Tore Planke, created a solution to a problem retailers faced, creating an efficient and quick way for customers to return empty bottles to stores. This was a part of Norway's existing deposit return program for usable glass bottles at the time. The company called Tomra started the production of the automated system. The system they promoted now was called Clean Loop Recycling, and Norway and Tomra is leading the way. Norway's deposit return system is one of the most efficient in the world, with more than 92% of containers returned to reverse vending machines and around 6% collected through alternative channels, mainly through the garbage. This means that less than 1% of all beverage containers in Norway are littered. Its effectiveness can be said to be rooted in its unique setup, with taxation fueling retailers' participation and commitment to drive high return rates. It's both convenient and efficient because everything is automated. In addition to that, all the stores accept all types of Norwegian containers. Norway is a very small country, and the non-profit operation is centralized and very effective. So what puts clean into the clean loop recycling? So beverage containers recycled through a reverse vending machine stays clean. And it stays clean enough to keep their food grade status, which means that they can be recycled into new beverage containers. When you recycle beverage containers in Norway, you can choose between a cash return or a lottery ticket in the recycling lottery run by the Red Cross, where you use your bottle deposit as a stake in the lottery, and you have a chance to win prizes worth from 50 to 1 million Norwegian crowns, which is about $100,000 US. Some people are motivated by that. So that's the story about recycling in Norway. Hope you get inspired to recycle your bottles or cans. So see you next time. Bye-bye.
Amino acids play a vital role in maintaining your overall health and well-being. Not enough amino acids and protein daily can result in brain fog, hormone imbalances, digestive issues, cognitive function, lack of energy, lower immunity, decreased muscle strength, and much more. That's why we created our amino acid complex, packed with 21 free-form, easily digestible aminos that skip the breakdown and go straight to work energizing your mind and body. Used by athletes, vegans, and high performers. New Earth's amino acid complex helps your mind and body recover, rebuild, and renew daily. Subscribe now and optimize your life.
Hello, I'm Susan from Sweden.
Mwanda Michael from Eastern Uganda, Africa.
Hi, I'm Tim from Vancouver, Canada.
I'm Titeshwar Fagao from Manipur State, India. I'm Gumba Obasi from Southeast Nigeria.
Arnaito Chakrini from Western Uganda, Mbarara.
At United Network News, you are the news.
My name's Christina, Field Messenger, report first one in the hurricane down here in Southern California from Mexico.
Real people reporting real stories from all around the world. At UNN, our field messengers are changing the face of news.
This is Jason from United Network News. We're going to be doing some aircrete building with new technologies that allow us to live in comfort and also off the grid.
Take the next step in changing the way the world gets the news. Become a UNN field messenger today.
I am Michelle from South Africa, and we are the United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I'm United Network News.
If it is going to be, then it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
Si va a ser así, depende de mí. It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to all of us. We're UNN.
Try walking or biking through most American cities and you'll quickly feel it. The sidewalks disappear. The bike lanes vanish. And suddenly you're dodging traffic just across the street. It's as if the city forgot people exist outside of cars. This isn't just bad design. It's a reflection of decades of planning that prioritized vehicles over people. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, cities in the Netherlands show us what's possible when streets are built for everyone, not just drivers.
Most American cities were built around cars, especially with the Industrial Revolution after World War II, when cheap gas, suburban sprawl, and highway-focused policies took priority over public transit or walkability. This led to wide, fast roads, minimal or poorly placed sidewalks and bike lanes, and zoning that separates homes from shops and schools, making daily life nearly impossible without a car. Add in massive parking lots, and it's clear pedestrians and cyclists were never the focus. They've just been left to navigate whatever space is left over.
This walk was pretty uncomfortable. The weather was nice, but there were no trees to provide any shade. The landscape was boring, and I was surrounded by asphalt. All of the businesses I passed were far in the distance, behind giant parking lots, and the signs were all oversized and only meant to be read while driving. In a place like this, you're walking next to polluted air and the constant noise from high-speed vehicles, and you always need to be alert for any cars going in and out of driveways, as drivers are only looking at oncoming traffic. They are not looking for pedestrians. And in America, people will blame you if you're hit by a car. Stoplights are long and there are too many of them. And because cars can turn right on red lights in America, you have to be hyper aware when crossing the road. This is the kind of pedestrian experience that people who never walk anywhere think is acceptable. But then I got to this spot and the sidewalk just ended. No warning, no alternative. It was just gone. But there was a well-trodden path through the grass, so I followed it to this bridge, where there was nothing. As I shimmied along the curb next to the guardrail, with high-speed cars and trucks passing by me, I thought about how ridiculous this was. I was balancing on a few centimeters of curb while crossing a 28-meter bridge with 7 lanes of car traffic. There was no consideration given to anybody who wasn't in a car, and there was no other alternative for people walking.
Walking in many American cities can be surprisingly dangerous. According to the Governor's Highway Safety Administration, in 2022, there were more than 7,500 pedestrian deaths nationwide, the highest number in more than 40 years. Most pedestrian fatalities occur on wide, fast-moving arterial roads, lacking sidewalks, safe crossings, and adequate lighting. Cyclists face similar dangers. In 2022, 1,100 bicyclists lost their lives on U.S. roads, a 13% increase from the previous year and the highest total in decades, according to the Transportation Research Board. Tens of thousands more were injured while sharing streets that often lacked protected bike lanes or safe separation from traffic. Despite the rising popularity of biking for commuting and recreation, many cyclists navigate fast, busy roads without the protection they need, making crashes more likely and more severe. While many U.S. cities have historically prioritized cars, this mindset is shifting as rising pedestrian and cyclist fatalities spark public outcry and demand for change. At the same time, growing awareness of health, environmental benefits, and shifting lifestyle preferences have motivated cities to invest in walkable, bike-friendly infrastructure. Economic incentives, equity concerns, and support from federal programs also plays key roles in pushing these efforts forward. This isn't just happening in the U.S. Cities globally are showing how prioritizing pedestrians and cyclists can transform urban life.
Where we are right now is really what I call the second bicycle renaissance. This really renewed urge to build better bicycle infrastructure, more traffic calming, enhanced traffic safety. And that's really something. We're building bicycle streets, bicycle highways to traffic calm whole inner cities, just to get to this moment where we have an efficient and sustainable transport mode. And related to the late 70s, early 80s bicycle renaissance, where we built our first bike lanes and poured that energy into making our streets safe for the first time and halt that motorization. I think that the time we're living now is really exciting. It's a time where we can innovate and build new worlds.
Kind of maybe changing the order of the design process. In the design of streets and places, first focusing on the needs of the people and the planetary needs and more nature in our cities. And after that, think about, okay, that's the place we want. So what about the mobility aspect and what types of traffic do we allow for in this place?
Cities across the U.S. are increasingly recognizing intersections as among the most dangerous parts of a street, and for good reason. The U.S. Federal Highway Association reports an estimated 57% of bicyclist fatalities and 39% of pedestrian major injuries and fatalities occur at or around these intersections. In response, both large and small cities have moved rapidly to adopt protected intersections. Dutch-inspired designs featuring corner islands, tighter turning angles, buffered bike queuing zones, and shorter crossing distances. More than 100 protected intersections have been constructed in 18 U.S. states and Washington, D.C. over the past several years, with others underway in cities like Salt Lake City, Austin, Boston, Charlotte, and Seattle.
I'm here in Seattle, right near the Seattle Center at the intersection of Dexter Avenue and Thomas Street. And what you're seeing here is Seattle's first ever protected intersection.
So I'm heading eastbound here on Thomas Street, and I want to go northbound on Dexter, which is effectively left.
So what you do is stop at this outer intersection right here on the bike detector. You'll notice there's a little blue sign there. Basically, every direction there's going to be an indicator and light telling you if your bike is detected. You want to stay in this outer intersection, as you can tell, because there is cross traffic of pedestrians and bikes. And this is called a protected intersection, also known as a Dutch-style intersection, because of the separation of bikes, pedestrians from car traffic in the form, as you can tell, of these concrete curbs or concrete loaves that serve as a physical barrier between you and the vehicles. So once the bike signal goes green, it's pretty simple. That's when you enter the intersection. You cross through, and if you're going straight, it's pretty simple. You just keep going. But this is the novel part. We make a left here, and now we're in that inner intersection where we saw there was additional sort of bike detectors as well. So you can use that same blue sign right there to know that your presence is recognized, and you do the same thing. You just wait now until the bike signal goes green again, and you're basically good to go.
While change takes time and can meet with resistance, the data is clear. When we redesign intersections with people in mind, we create streets that are more livable, more equitable, and far more welcoming to those walking, biking, or rolling. If we want healthier, safer, and more connected communities, this is a shift worth making.
Today, we're learning about a local community project that's boosting food resilience by offering free seedlings, workshops, and gardening lessons. UNN Field Messenger Anna introduces us to the project.
Hi, my name is Anna, and I'm a field messenger for United Network News, reporting from Lower Hutt, New Zealand. Today I'd like to bring you a story about a local community initiative that is endeavouring to strengthen food resilience.
Kia ora, I'm Rochelle. I run a project called Tipu Greenhouse. I grow seedlings for the community, give them away to food banks so people can build up some car resilience. We have this beautiful mara that we have been given. We have plots here for whānau to come down if they can't have a garden at home. They can come down here and grow. We also have down here, we have a food bank mara, so everything that's grown here will go into our food banks and given away to the community. We're just sort of building up kai resilience, building up food resilience, sovereignty, and just growing kai. This is our shade house. Once our seedlings go from the greenhouse, they come in here to be hardened off so they can sort of have resilience against the weather conditions that we have in beautiful Wellington, New Zealand. We have grown all of this for a project that we call Grow 5000. So we, over the next 4 months, will be growing 5,000 seedlings to give away to whānau that sign up with us. Again, we give education lessons.
Workshops?
Workshops, a little bit of everything happens here. We're also open to sort of community coming in and giving us ideas.
Thank you very much, Rochelle. Very informative. Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed the story. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
From the moment kids are born, they're surrounded by toxins in the air they breathe, the products on their skin, and the food they eat. As they grow, it only gets worse, from the toys they play with to the places they explore. It's a troubling thought, isn't it? That our children grow up in a world that can be so harmful to their health and well-being. A recent U.S. study funded by the NIH highlights just how widespread the issue is. Researchers tested the urine of 201 children ages 2 to 4 and found 96 chemicals, including plasticizers, pesticides, and substances from toys, cosmetics, and household dust. Out of 111 chemicals tested, 48 were found in more than half of the children, and 34 showed up in more than 90%. Some chemicals, like phthalates and bisphenols, aren't even tracked by federal health agencies. Toddlers are more vulnerable because of their small size, frequent hand-to-mouth contact, and playful habits. These findings raise concerns about how chemical exposure affects brain and body development in early childhood.
What is happening in the day and age of toys, unlike when we grew up, Mom and Dad? Look, it's chemicals, of course, plastics, phthalates, flame retardants, all of it going in kids' toys. And by the way, the stuffed toys, yeah, a urethane foam that's typically smothered in flame retardant. What happens? Kids chew on these things, it's going right into their system, into their bloodstream. The plastics, yeah, the hard plastics, absolutely BPA. And again, they're chewing on these toys and it's going directly into the bloodstream. And that's what the studies show. What do? I think that's the question. Here's the good news. You can just Google safe kids toys. I don't even think you have to get organic, but a step better. But cotton is better than the urethanes, which is a petrochemical loaded with the toxins I'm talking about. And also wool now. They have wool toys and also wood. But anyways, safe kid toys, it's worth the little bit of extra money because no doubt these chemicals are ending up in our children. This isn't a small amount of chemicals. These flame retardants, plastics. Oh, and I didn't mention heavy metals in these toys. Get the safe toys for your kids. It's worth it.
2 recent studies from the University of Toronto found harmful chemicals in children's bedrooms and mattresses. High levels of phthalates and flame retardants were detected in both the air and mattresses, with mattresses being a key source. These chemicals are also found in household items like furniture and cleaning products and can be inhaled or absorbed through the skin. Exposure to them has been linked to health issues like asthma, allergies, hormone problems, and even cancer. The Green Science Policy Institute says flame retardants in mattresses can be harmful and may not work as intended, often delaying fires by just seconds while increasing toxic smoke. These chemicals don't break down easily, staying in the environment, food, and products for years, even after being banned. Children are most at risk from these chemicals while sleeping, as the air near their beds has the highest levels. Kids spend more time in bed than adults, sleeping 9 to 14 hours a day, or up to 17 hours for babies.
Buy a mattress without flame retardants. Choose a mattress made of organic cotton, wool, or natural latex, which is less often made with phthalates. Use a washable mattress protector or cover with a terry towel to absorb some chemicals. Let new mattresses off-gas in a ventilated space for a few days, but some chemicals take years to go away. Wash bedding regularly to reduce chemical buildup. Keep extra pillows and stuffed animals to a minimum. Phthalates, used to soften plastics, were found even in non-plastic mattress covers, a surprise to researchers. Some of these phthalates are restricted in U.S. children's products, but many are still allowed. UV filters, which are used to prevent fabric discoloration and deterioration, were also found. Both phthalates and UV filters have been linked to hormone disruption and other long-term health effects. The study authors are calling for stronger regulations and complete transparency in how children's mattresses are made.
These are just a few examples of the chemicals kids are exposed to daily, and it's already pretty alarming. But when you dig deeper into everything out there, it quickly becomes overwhelming. The long-term risks of these chemicals are becoming more and more apparent. Studies show childhood cancers have increased by 35% over the past 50 years. Male reproductive birth defects have doubled, and rates of childhood asthma and obesity have skyrocketed 3- and 4-fold. Nearly 1 in 6 kids now has a neurodevelopmental disorder like ADHD or autism. Many of these health issues are tied to exposure to synthetic chemicals during pregnancy or early childhood, with effects sometimes taking years to appear. The trouble is chemical regulations in Canada and the U.S. rarely account for these long-term risks, and that's a big problem. As chemical production continues to grow, estimated to triple by 2050, experts are calling for stricter rules to test and monitor these toxic chemicals.
In Uganda, fresh homemade juice is a staple of family life. UNN Field Messenger Nabira Annette shows us how she prepares this refreshing drink for her family.
My name is Nabri Annette, Field Messenger UNN News, Eastern Uganda. Today we are making African juice using passion fruits, pineapple, watermelon, and carrots. I'm removing the passion fruits from the pot, like this. So this is the passion fruit, and this is the watermelon, the pineapple, and the carrots. So we are going to pour it together and we mix. We put some little water, the boiled water. Receiving the list. This things. So you have to make sure that the juice is over. We make this juice without sugar because most people here don't take sugar. So this is the juice. Tastes very nice. This is Nabi Annette, UNN News, Eastern Uganda.
UNN is changing the face of news. Join us for our weekly Field Messenger meetings and learn how you can make a difference. Visit unitednetwork.earth for more information. Thanks for watching.